Hi, this is Mr. McConley from BKW Intro to Agriculture class, and today we're going to talk about seeds. And specifically, we're going to look inside a seed and we're going to see what the major components are. In a previous video, we actually planted some seeds because we're trying to get going here early spring and get things ready so they can get outside and be ready to grow and produce the vegetables at the proper time. So today we're going to investigate or dig into the seeds. So if I can grab the camera for a minute here. What I've done is I've actually taken a pea seed and a bean seed, and I've cut them in half. And this one here, let me get my pointer, this one here is what it looked like naturally, and I tried to add some food coloring, but that didn't really help to see what I was looking at. Specifically, we're going to be let me get this to focus here. There we go. Specifically, we're going to be looking at these pieces right here, this big mass here, okay? And the same with the pea. The pea's a little easier to see. We can see this piece right here, and then the big mass around the outside. So let me write some things down on a piece of paper. And well, actually, before I do that, why don't I just tell you a little bit about seeds in general. So when you're talking about seeds, they're kind of amazing because some seeds, in order to germinate or to start growing, they need to actually have a wildfire burn over them. And other seeds might have to pass through the stomach or the gut of an animal in order for them to start growing. Some seeds even have to go through a winter before they're ready to grow, to germinate. But in the end, seeds are amazing, and some can live for an extremely long time without actually germinating. But once they do start to germinate, that process, once it gets going, then the seed will grow into a plant. So let's go back to my picture here, what I had started a second ago. Why don't you stand on this side? And we're looking just at this piece of paper here, and I'm going to write some things on the piece of paper. So this area right here is what would be called the embryonic plant. Can you see that if I'm writing? You can get a little closer and square up to the picture like this, okay? You can just hold that there for me. So this is the I want to spell it right. Embryonic, like that. Embryonic plant. And inside this embryonic plant, there's going to be some different parts that you'll find. One of the parts you're going to find inside of this would be the first leaves. And the first leaves have a specific name, and you may have heard me mention it earlier in the year. They're called cotyledons. So inside this embryonic plant, you have the cotyledons. They're inside there. You're also going to have the initial root. And that initial root is called a radicle. Okay, so inside that embryonic plant, there's some important pieces there. Now, the majority, though, of what you're looking at, all this area in here, this big area, this is the food source. And it's a storage of food, because that food could be stored, like I said, for years until it needs to help the seed grow into a plant. And it's called endosperm. And the endosperm is mostly, it's in the form of a starch. Okay? So what'll happen here is when the conditions are right, and the warmth of the soil, and maybe the fire, if it needed fire, the warmth of the soil, the acid from the animal's stomach, whatever starts the process of breaking down the seed coat coats around the outside protecting the seed. Once that is broken down and the seed actually starts to grow, then this food storage will be used by the embryonic plant, and it will start to sprout, break apart, and grow. So these parts right here, the embryonic plant, are quite visible on my example. So let me take that and I'll show you up close again, and this time maybe you'll know what you're looking for a little bit better. It just takes me a minute to get the iPad to adjust here. Bring my light in a little bit closer. Okay. So now I think you're able to see, hopefully, on this P, you can see the embryonic plant here, and then all this other area being the food source. Same with this bean. That's pretty clear now. Good. You can see the embryonic plant, and this is where the cotyledon and that radicle would be. And then all this area is your starch, your food supply. That's just waiting to be activated. So that's a little bit about seeds today. And in my instructions for this lesson, I'm going to have you answer a couple questions. So, for Mr. McConley, this is Bernox Westrel Intro to Agriculture class. Have a good day.